दोस्तों इस क्लास में आपको डिक्टेशन दूंगा मैं 100 WPM पर 600 वर्ड्स की डिक्टेशन है, आपको डिक्टेशन में प्रोवाइड कर रहा हूं। बी रेडी फॉर इट।
Feeling aggrieved and dissatisfied with the impugned judgment passed by the division bench of the High Court of Delhi at New Delhi in Letters Patent Appeal number 246 of 2007, by which the division bench has allowed the said appeal preferred by the respondent herein and has quashed and set aside the judgment and order passed by the learned single judge and has quashed and set aside communication of the bank rejecting the application for voluntary retirement and has directed the appellant bank to release retiral dues of the respondent in accordance with the pension regulations 1995 with simple interest at the rate of 9% per annum from the date of filing of writ petition. The employer bank has preferred the present appeal. Being aggrieved by the rejection of the application for voluntary retirement, the employee preferred writ petition. One another prayer was for a direction to the employer to reimburse the educational expenses for the son of the employee who had been sent to Singapore for his education while he was posted at Colombo. One another prayer was for grant of travelling allowance bills for the journey from Colombo to New Delhi, which was declined by the employer on account of delay in submitting the bills. The learned single judge, by judgment, dismissed the writ petition so far as challenge to the rejection of his voluntary retirement application. However, granted the prayers for travelling allowance bills and educational expenses. Feeling aggrieved and dissatisfied with the judgment and order passed by the learned single judge in dismissing the writ petition with respect to his prayer to quash the letter rejecting his request for voluntary retirement, the employee preferred letters patent appeal before the division bench of the High Court. The division bench, by the impugned judgment and order, has allowed the said letters patent appeal and has quashed and has directed the employer to release retiral dues of the employee in accordance with pension regulations 1995. Feeling aggrieved and dissatisfied with the impugned judgment and order passed by the division bench of the High Court, the employer has preferred the present appeal. The learned senior advocate has appeared on behalf of the employer and Shri Sanjeev Kumar, learned advocate, has appeared on behalf of the employee. Shri Sanjeev Kumar, learned advocate, appearing on behalf of the employee, has supported the impugned judgment and order passed by the division bench of the High Court. It is submitted that the division bench has rightly set aside the communication by which the application of the employee for voluntary retirement was rejected. It is submitted that the division bench of the High Court has rightly interpreted Regulation 29 and has rightly considered that the bar under Regulation 29(1) shall not be applicable in so far as Regulation 29(1) is concerned, as the employee was not on deputation at Colombo branch but was on transfer. It is submitted that the question is not when the decision was served upon the employee, But the question is whether the rejection of the voluntary retirement application wide communication dated 2004 was legal, just and proper and was in consonance with Regulation 29 or not. It is submitted that on true interpretation of Regulation 29, the High Court has rightly allowed the appeal and has rightly quashed. It is not in dispute that in the present case, the employee submitted the voluntary retirement application. In the application itself, the employee requested for waiver of 3 months' notice and requested to deduct the salary amount of the notice period from out of the amounts payable to him by the employer on retirement. दोस्तों इसी के साथ ही डिक्टेशन फिनिश होती है। पूरी उम्मीद है आप लोगों ने इसे बहुत अच्छे से लिखा होगा। लगातार मेहनत करते रहिए, अच्छे से अच्छे आपको एक्यूरेसी लेके आनी है। अच्छी शॉर्टहैंड लिखने के बाद अगर आप अच्छी शॉर्टहैंड लिखते हैं तो ऑटोमेटिकली आपकी एक्यूरेसी अच्छी आने लगेगी। आपसे मुलाकात करता हूँ मैं अगली क्लास में अगली ट्रांसक्रिप्शन के साथ। तब तक के लिए बाय बाय, टेक केयर।